Hello, hello, welcome back to Funnelheads. My name is Andrew, and today we're going to go over all of the details so far for the Carnival Firenze, which is going to be Carnival's newest ship, or I should say new to them because it is a rebrand of sorts. We'll get more into that in just a second. But we're going to gather information in regards to, of course, a ship that just kind of went through the same process as this one, which is the Carnival Venezia, which we will be on this June. Very excited about that. We're also going to take a look at the deck plan as well as just Carnival's website. We're going to gather all the information. We're going to go over all of the details, starting off with just a little bit of the history of the ship. Now from there, we're going to be going over all of the entertainment that's going to be on board this ship, as well as the venues for the entertainment, the food venues, drink venues, as well as a miscellaneous category. The only thing that we're not going to be getting into great detail is going to be the cabins. We're going to do a separate video for that. There's just a lot of different cabins, a lot of variety of cabins kind of in the same category. So we'll go over all of those in a different video. We'll also give our suggestions on what would be the cabins that we look for or book, you know, pros and cons, all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that. But if you do like cruise informational videos just like this one, consider subscribing, liking the video. It means the world to us. We appreciate it. Let's get right into the video. All right, so let's go through the brief history of this ship. This ship was actually completed in December of 2020, and it is a Vista class ship built for the Chinese market, and it is just like the Costa Venezia as far as like the situation. That ship was built for the very similar reason. Now, Carnival Cruise Lines, once they acquire this ship over from Costa Cruises, they will technically have 5 Vista ships, which is going to be one of the largest class ships now in their fleet. And the other 5 ships, including this ship, is going to be, of course, the Carnival Venezia, the Carnival Panorama, the Horizon, and the Vista. Now, the Firenze was named after Florence, Italy, and has many interior features inspired by Florentine history and culture. Now, the specs of this ship is that the weight or gross tonnage is 135,156 tons and can fit approximately 4,126 guests at double occupancy, and that means basically 2 people to a room. 1,424 crew can also fit on this ship, and it is 15 decks tall and measures 1,061 feet in length. Now, once this ship debuts, it is going to be home ported in Long Beach, California, and it's going to be visiting Western Mexico on mostly 4-night and 5-night cruises. And finally, just a couple of notes real quick before we get into the main part of this video. Again, this is a Vista class ship, so if you've ever been on the Carnival Vista, the Panorama, the Horizon, the layout of this ship is going to feel super familiar. It is near identical as far as a lot of those areas. Now, what is going to feel very different is, of course, going to be the name of the venues as well as what they serve between food and drinks, as well as the interior design is going to be way different, almost the complete opposite. Of course, you know, the Vista, Panorama, and Horizon are more kind of Caribbean themed, very bright colors, and again, this ship is going to be more Italian themed. So those are going to be the biggest differences. And the last thing I wanted to say is I'm going to butcher some of these names. I apologize in advance. It's going to happen. I'm going to try my best to pronounce it correctly, but please accept my apology going into the rest of this video. Alright, so now that we're all on the same page, let's get started with the entertainment that you're going to find on board this beautiful ship. Starting in the Limelight Lounge, in the mornings you'll have the cruise director do seminars and talk shows for the morning show that typically will be broadcasted on the Lido deck at the Seaside Theater, which we'll get to in a second. You'll also see punchliner comedy in this area, typically in the early evening and late evening hours. hours. They'll have different comedians do different types of stand-up comedy, some for, general audience, some kind of more rated R as well. And then once you get to your first and second stop, usually those comedians will get off and new comedians will come on board. So really, if you go there each and every night, you're most likely going to be listening to different stand-up comedy, and we absolutely love it. We always leave punchline or comedy, just dying laughing. Our stomachs hurt, our cheeks hurt. It's always a good time. Also in this same area, the Limelight Lounge, this actually converts to the dance club on the Vista class. So if you want to stay up late, let loose, and dance the night away with friends, family, as well as other guests, this is going to be the area. The DJ will play all types of different music. Some nights they'll have kind of theme nights, whether it's like 90s, early 2000s. Other nights it'll just be whatever the guests are into, and this will usually stay open until the guests are officially done dancing for the evening. So this will be a late night if you want it. Next up, we have the Firenze Casino on board. Of course, this is going to be the casino. It'll have a smoking and non-smoking section, and they'll have, of course, all the slot machines, tables, anything that you could imagine in a casino it's going to have, and I'm sure some of you are very excited to start playing on board. Following this, we have the main theater, the Teatro Rosso. At least that's what it's called on the deck plan. Again, a lot of these names and menus could change, but again, we're just kind of going over what we know so far. As soon as we get updates, we'll put out a update video. But the Teatro Rosso is going to be the main theater on board. That's where you will see your playlist productions, Broadway style shows, variety acts, comedy. This is where the main shows will be each and every night. Typically they will have a early show as well as a late show. Sometimes there is only one show though, so make sure you're looking at your fun times, either the physical copy that will be delivered to your stateroom by your cabin steward or on the Carnival Hub app. You wouldn't want to miss the only show of the day, of course, and you can kind of plan dinner and other activities around that as well. Now moving on to one of our favorite spots on a Carnival ship, and that is the piano bar, typically opening at 9 o'clock in the evening. It is a great way to kind of let loose, grab a drink, chat it up with fellow guests, as well as interact with the musician. Now, typically the piano player is not only super talented, but also has an amazing personality, so they try to involve the crowd as well. Sometimes they'll have a drink or two with the guests, and it's always just a great night, whether you're in there for 20 minutes, before something else happens that you want, or if you spend the entire night there. Now, this will typically stay open, kind of like the club situation. As long as there's people in there having fun, then the piano player will usually stay up. So another great way to spend the evening. Now, speaking of live music, you can see live music throughout the ship, and typically the artists will rotate throughout the day and nights on board, and they are some amazing artists. I mean, in the past we've seen violinist, solo artist, complete band sets, flutist, really anything you could imagine you might see on your cruise, and another great way to spend the evening. Now, moving up to the Lido deck, you have the Seaside Theater, and picture this as basically a giant movie theater screen, but only on the Lido deck. And they'll have different showings of sometimes sports, but mostly movies, whether it be kids movies or like PG-13 style movies. They'll have that again in the Carnival Hub app, as well as the fun times that get delivered to your room each and every night. And typically they'll play either movies that are in theaters or just coming out of movie theaters, so they're all pretty new movies. Every now and then they'll have a movie that's just popular that people really enjoy, but again, mostly it's the newer style movies. Now, a couple decks up is where all of the outdoor activities are going to be for entertainment, including Sports Square, where you have the ropes course, mini golf, jogging track, all your different sports, whether it's basketball, soccer, pickleball, so much more. You could spend literally the entire cruise in this area. Also near mini golf, you have the warehouse, which is essentially the arcade on board. And I gotta be honest, this is my least favorite area on board the entire ship. Of course, we have a 6-year-old, loves the arcade. We try to avoid it like the plague. But I always joke around with everybody that I talk to about the arcade that you could literally send somebody in the arcade and somebody in the casino for the same amount of time, and the person in the arcade will end up spending more money. I want to do an experiment like that on our next cruise. I might just do it, but yeah, it is so expensive in that area. So just know that going in. But if you do have little ones, or you just want to have some fun, maybe playing some what is it called? The hockey game? Air hockey? Yeah, that's the word, air hockey. If you want to play some air hockey, that's always a good time, you know, between spouses or friends, family, whatnot. Now, the last two things I wanted to bring up under entertainment is, one, going to be Carnival Waterworks, which is a great area if you want to cool off and have some fun. And finally, number 2, on deck 4 and 5, you can find the fun shops as well as the adventure store and Cherry on Top. These are great areas if you want to get some souvenirs that are tax-free for maybe friends or family or yourself. There you can get maybe a ship model like we do, or, you know, whatever else, cologne, perfume, jewelry. You know, it's definitely a great way to spend a couple of hours out of the day. Alright, so now that we are through all of the entertainment, let's discuss everyone's favorite topic, and that is foods. Now, starting off with the free food venues on board, we have the Medici restaurant as well as the Palazza restaurant. Now, these are going to be the dinner venues for your time dining, early dining, as well as late dining. You can also get breakfast in these venues on port days as well as sea day brunch on, of course, sea days. Now, upstairs you have Pizzeria del Capitano, which is going to be open pretty early and stay open pretty late. Up here you can choose between about 6 different types of pizza, but typically cheese and pepperoni will be pretty readily available since those are some fan favorites. If you choose to create one of the other options, typically it's going to take about 20 minutes, and sometimes it's just slammed and it's going to be a little bit longer anyway. Now, inside from the Pizzeria del Capitano, you have the Lido Marketplace, which is going to be your buffet on board the ship. You can eat there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you choose to do so, and they will have a variety of different foods, and they're going to change daily. They usually or typically won't have the same foods twice, except for breakfast. A lot of times for breakfast, they will have repeating foods. Now, also in the buffet for breakfast, they have the omelet station. Now, they did change this recently where a lot of people were super upset. I was disappointed. You can no longer fully customize an omelet. You can only get a cheese omelet, a ham and cheese omelet, veggie omelet, egg whites, and a couple of other different style eggs. You can't fully customize it anymore. So I'm bummed out about that, but it is what it is. Moving on. Also in the buffet, they have the salad bar as well as the dessert bar. So lots of different options in the buffet if you're looking to eat there throughout the day. Now, outside of the Lido Marketplace, you're going to have a fan favorite, which of course is Guy's Burger. It's one of my favorite places to eat as well. Now, on the Venezia, they did add 2 new burgers, so it is going to be interesting to see if we get those 2 burgers on this ship or if they're going to change it up a little bit. We'll mention the 2 new ones here. Just note that they may not be on. We'll update that, of course, as soon as we know. But you have the super melty mozz and the pepperoni pizza burger. I'm interested in trying both of these on the Venezia when we cruise in June, so I'm super excited about that. Now, across from Guy's Burger, you have Tomadora, which basically replaces Blue Iguana Cantina on other Carnival ships. And here we can see the menu on the Venezia for Tomadora. Again, these menu items may be a little bit different, but if it is the same, we can expect a meatball hero, Sicilian chicken wrap, as well as the Tortstill Milanese. These are just some examples. Of course, they have other food at these venues as well. Now, down a few decks, we have the La Strada Grill, which basically replaces the deli on board other Carnival ships. And if it's going to be the same as the Venezia, we can see the menu. Some of the items include the Sicilian chicken hero, roast beef on a roll, Italian sausage, pulled pork, mac and cheese, plus many different sides. Again, this may change. We'll have to wait and see. Now that we discussed all the free food venues on board, let's discuss some of the specialty restaurants as well as add-ons. Starting off with Cherry on Top, which of course we did mention under the entertainment because you can buy souvenirs in this store. However, they do sell candy as well. One of my other least favorite areas. My son disagrees with that. However, it is definitely not expensive as the arcade, and I will take it. Now, moving on from Cherry on Top, you have Bonsai Sushi, which is of course going to be a specialty restaurant. This is menu pricing, so it's not like per person as some of the other restaurants that we're going to discuss. However, when the three of us typically go there for dinner, it's about $40, give or take, about $5 or $10, depending on, drinks, appetizers, whatnot. We love it. The food is super fresh. Last time we ordered the boat of sushi, which had many different types of rolls and sashimi. Absolutely wonderful, great value, and we were in and out of the restaurant within an hour. We probably could have left, even sooner than that, but we were just enjoying, the food and the company as well. Now, sticking with Bonsai, you also have Bonsai Teppanyaki, which is basically hibachi on board. Now, this is about $40 per person. Looking at the prices now, it may go up. I'm sure it will in the near future. We have not done this on Carnival. We hear it's wonderful, though. A great value for, what you get. We did do it on MSC once before. Probably wouldn't do it again just because the value wasn't there. So we are looking forward to giving Bonsai Teppanyaki a try and kind of seeing the differences. But if you're looking for great food and a show, definitely recommend trying it out. Next up, we have Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. Now, if you want to treat yourself on vacation, this is one of the best ways to do it. Get yourself an amazing meal, have a romantic dinner, just indulge for one night out of the week. It is fantastic. We've done the steakhouse several times, and it's one of those things that we try to do each and every cruise. Now, the pricing for the steakhouse as I record this video, because I'm sure it's going to go up again, it has several times in the near past, is $50 per person, but it is definitely worth it in our opinion. Now, another way to treat yourself in regards to food is going to be the chef's table. Now, I have not done this personally. I would have to do it with somebody else because Michelle's just not that into food where it would be worth it. So if there's somebody watching and is on our next cruise, let us know and maybe we can go to chef's table together. But yeah, this is going to be an amazing evening. Typically, pricing is, from what I understand, between $100 and $150 per person, and it is a very limited availability. I believe it's up to 10 to 12 people 1 to 2 times throughout the week. But this is where the master chef, the head chef, is going to create some amazing smaller dishes, for you to try with using just the freshest ingredients. So I really want to try this in the near future. But let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of Chef's Table if you've done it before? All I've heard was wonderful things, so I'm waiting to hear a bad review about it or that it's not worth it. So definitely let me know. And finally, the last food that we're going to go over is the Seafood Shack, which has a la carte pricing. It's kind of just market prices for different seafoods, but I love this area. Typically, I will go by myself. Rhett will, help me with some of the different seafood items. He loves shrimp, but usually I get shrimp by the pound, a dozen oysters or so. And lately I've been getting the lobster roll, just magnificent. Again, all of that by myself. I think the last time I did it was about $35, and I ate nearly all of it. It was so good. I felt so bad for wasting just the little bit I had left, but absolutely another way to treat yourself on board. Now moving on to the drink venues on board this ship, starting in the atrium, we have Piazza Duomo, which is of course going to be the main bar, the main lobby bar once you get on board the ship. They'll also have live music here during, the afternoons and late evenings. Now moving on from here, you have the Heroes Tribute Bar, which is a welcomed addition on all Carnival ships. Of course, this area honors both military past and present as well as veterans. Sometimes they'll hold the military appreciation gathering in this area, but is also host to live sports as well as recorded sports games. Moving on from there, you have the Tuscan Lounge, which think of this area like Ocean Plaza on some of the Dream Class ships. Of course, you have live music in the evenings, a dance floor. They also host trivia here frequently. They have a bar, so it's just a nice area to spend the evening. Next up, you have the Frizzante Bar, which kind of reminds me of Bar della Rosa on Carnival Mardi Gras. Here you can have a bunch of different drinks, but they also have lots of espresso machines with Italian espresso, Italian coffee. You can also find Italian wines here as well as spritz. Now moving over some, you have the Amari Bar, which basically is the alchemy bar on board, and I know a lot of people are disappointed that both the Venezia and this ship is not going to have an alchemy bar, but they said that a lot of the staple drinks that the alchemy bar offers, the Amari Bar will have as well, so I'm sure it will still be an amazing area. Now moving up to the Lido deck, you have Rococo's Bar, which is unfortunately going to take place of the Blue Iguana Tequila Bar as well as the Red Frog Rum Bar. Now they will again have staples at those bars, so if you're looking like for a Miami Vice, Strawberry Daiquiri, something like that, you could still find those drinks here as well as lots of other drinks that they offer. Across from Rococo, you have Java Blue Cafe, which I gotta be honest, I absolutely love that it's on the Lido deck. I always thought that the specialty coffee should be on the Lido deck. It just makes life so much easier, when you're trying to get specialty coffees, breakfast, everybody's going in different areas, and now that those venues are so close together, again, just makes life easier. So that's what it's all about when you're on vacation. Now finishing up the drink venues real quick, we have the aft pool, which is going to be the Versilla bar pool. You have the Pergola bar, which is going to be above the Lido pool. And the Spritz bar, which is in Serenity. They have a ton of different refreshing spritz just to cool you off while you're reading your next greatest book. A great addition to the Serenity deck. Alright, so we made it through the entertainment, the food, the drinks, and now we have landed at the other column. So we're going to run through these real quick, starting off with the gym or the fitness area. Of course, going to the gym is absolutely free on board. They do have some classes there that are going to be an upcharge, so just look out for that. Of course, the gym and spa are right next to each other. The spa is a great way to relax on vacation, although it can be pricey. The massages and things like that are absolutely wonderful. We have took advantage of some specials here and there. Just beware of the hard sell at the end by the person that's helping you out, whether it's the masseuse or whatnot. They're always going to try to sell you a whole bunch of products at the end, so just know that going in. That's kind of the only downside for me, at least, going into the spa. Next up, you have Serenity, which we briefly mentioned with the Spritz bar. Serenity is going to be beautiful on this ship. Of course, you have the jacuzzi, the bar, as well as comfortable lounge chairs. Great spot to nap, read, or just, catch some rays throughout the day. Now, if you are bringing kids on board, you have areas like Club O2, Circle C, as well as Camp Ocean and Dr. Seuss Bookville. Now, if you want more information about those areas, I did separate videos on all of them, but basically Circle C and Club O2 are going to be for the older kids into teenagers, and Camp Ocean are for the younger ones that can't check out on their own. They have all different types of activities planned out for the kids. They even have basically basically a program for the kids after hours, late hours. It's called Night Owls from 10 to 1 a.m. You can take advantage of that if you have, a special thing that you want to do, maybe a late dinner show, something like that. It is set around $7 an hour plus 18% gratuity, which I always joke. I cannot find, a teenager in our neighborhood to babysit my son for that little, so it's absolutely worth it. Take advantage of that. Now, of course, you have all of the pools and hot tubs on board for you to enjoy the Cloud9 Salon if you want to get a hair treatment, nails done, maybe beard trimmed up, whatever. Of course, those all come at an extra expense, so look out for that. Now, also, you're going to have Pixel's Photo Gallery. This is going to be the area where all of your, pictures are going to be that you took either before getting on the ship, during your cruise, at destinations, at dinner. All of those pictures can be found there. You also have Dream Studios on board. Now, this is a little bit different from Pixel's. This is basically you're hiring a person for a private session of taking pictures. If you want to get, family pictures done, you want a lot of different shots and it to be a little bit more professional. That's the area that you want to go to. However, we have done it before. It is very expensive, and I'm talking like 10 years ago we did it, so I could just imagine what the prices are. So just ask about the prices before you get too involved is one tidbit I would say. Now, if you're somebody that likes to collect art, look at art, or maybe just drink some champagne, you have the art gallery that holds different art auctions. So if that's your thing, there's absolutely that going on this ship. Now, you also have guest services on board, of course, right off the main atrium. So if you need anything whatsoever, you can either call them or go there personally. This is going to be an area where literally whatever you need, they can help you find the answer to. But specifically, things with sail and sign, maybe, miscellaneous charge popped up, or you had a question about something. And the last two areas I wanted to mention is the lanai. This is one of our favorite spots on board other ships, so I know it's going to be one of our favorite spots on this ship. Just a beautiful area that has complete outside decking, whether you're walking in the morning, maybe doing a little jog, or taking nightly pictures before or after dinner. Beautiful spot to watch sunsets as well. Just an area to clear your mind, just taking in all the ocean mist, the smells, everything. We love the lanai. We wish they had it on each and every ship. Now, the last area I wanted to bring up is kind of a special area on board. It's called the Terrazza Carnivale, and it's very similar to the Havana area on board the other Vista class ships, except for it doesn't have a pool. Now, you can only access this area if you have a terrazza cabin during the day. At night, it is open to all guests. Now, if you do have a terrazza cabin, you will also get complimentary continental breakfast inside the Carnivale Lounge. You'll get terrazza branded robes and towels, a special curated brunch on select sea days at our specialty Italian restaurant with a complimentary spritz or mimosa, and an exclusive sail away event at Terrazza Carnivale with live music. Now, one thing to note about this cabin is guests 12 or under cannot stay in these cabins, much like the Havana rooms on board the other ships like we talked about. So just one thing to note. I don't think this area is worth it. However, in my opinion, of course, we've never stayed in this area on either the Venezia or obviously this brand new ship that's not out yet. So I don't have a personal opinion or experience rather. But as far as comparing it to the Havana cabins on other ships, in my opinion, you just get a lot more, specifically, the pool that you can use throughout the day. Only those guests can use it, so it never feels full. You have your own full bar there, so it just feels a little bit more special on some of the other guests. Maybe somebody that's been on the Venezia can say one way or another if they thought it was worth it or not. So let me know in the comment section below. I would love to read about that. But anyway, that is everything that we know so far for the Carnival Firenze. I'm really excited to hear the remaining details of this ship. Now, there is a restaurant on board that hasn't been revealed yet, which is going to be, I believe, an Italian specialty restaurant. Cucina del Capitano is not on board this ship, and if it's going to be similar to the Venezia, it's going to be a restaurant called Il Fiago. I believe I said that correctly. I have no idea. Again, name might change. It might serve a little bit different things. We'll have to wait and see, but that is one thing that I didn't, mention because, of course, we just don't know for certain whether or not that's going to be the restaurant on board. So now, if you do want updates on this beautiful ship, consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell. We will be doing updates as we get more information on this ship. Hopefully, we'll be able to get on this ship here soon or eventually. We are going on the Carnival Venezia, like I said, in June, so excited about that. And I feel like we'll get a good amount of experience of what this ship is like, being on the Venezia. But anyway, thank you so much for your continued support. Hit like on your way out. Hopefully we'll see you right back here in the next video or on a cruise ship one day. Catch you later.